do the horses come from for slaughter? You know, it's a really good thought, and they come from everywhere. They come from racetracks. They come from wild ranges in the West. They come from homes that can no longer feed them. I mean, they come from every avenue you can think of that has a horse out there. They also come from an industry that provides hormones for women to take that have elected not to go through the effects of menopause. Tens of thousands of horses are slaughtered a year. I've been asked a few times, you know, is there anything that we are doing in our communities that inadvertently contribute to this horse slaughter issue? And I would say, yes, if you're a horse breeder, you're contributing greatly to it, whether you're a great horse breeder or a lousy horse breeder. If you're breeding animals and you're selling them, they're going to go somewhere. And that is taking the responsibility for what we are creating. You know, anything that we're mass producing has to go somewhere. There are many, many horse auctions in the United States. They happen on a daily basis. And just because horses are not being slaughtered in the United States today, don't think there aren't people at all those sales buying horses and hauling them across the U.S. border to be slaughtered and shipped away. It is a multi-million-dollar business. And if you think because there aren't slaughterhouses in the United States today that your old faithful horse you can't take care of anymore is going to be purchased by a nice family for their children to spend the rest of his days with, I encourage you to think again. Several people have asked me what could we do about the horse population issue. But the reality is land is being gobbled up in this country for a variety of reasons. The government's responsible for what's happening to a lot of land, and individuals are responsible for what's happening for a lot of land use and how that land is used and how that land is held. And I noticed this living in Pennsylvania years ago. You know, I lived in a beautiful rural area, and everybody was buying lots out there and building houses because they love the country and they love the horses. But as soon as they built their house, they didn't want horses through their neighborhoods anymore because, you know, they left things on the road they didn't want to look at, they didn't want to smell them, they didn't want their privacy invaded. This is happening all over in this country. To start being responsible about, you know, how we are living as consumers. And that really ties into just the whole horse part of this, you know, what's happening to the land in this country? Where are our cowboys going? Where are our herds of cattle going, you know? What's happening in this country? What land use is really going on here? You know, are we losing our farms? Are we losing our ranches? Are we losing a way of life that has sustained this country for a long time? Absolutely. It's being bought up and it's changing. And that's something that really needs to be addressed. The space is much more limited. The people that own the space are very particular about how it's used. So things have shifted dramatically. And it's a time that we as a nation really pay attention to how we're consuming and how we're buying and supporting certain industries.